Richland Creek on the Tennessee River.
On the Tennessee River. We're coming out of Richland Creek, and what we're going to do is Rocky and Mike are going to follow this area down the Hiawassee Island. They're going to check the structure situations down here. Jason, Harold, and I are going to take the other approach. We're going to go up the river, down to these cuts down here that you can see along the river channel, and we're going to check those out. And we're going to meet about 3:30 in the afternoon and see what we all did. And we'll see, we'll just go from there.
What's the watercolor here?
Watercolor back in the creek arm looks pretty good, but we'll see what it is when we get out on the main lake.
Okay. Here we're in the where the creek arm comes into the main river.
Got some good watercolor here.
Yeah.
Good watercolor.
What are you looking for?
The break line right now, the drop off. It's about, according to this right here, it looks like it's about 11 or 12 feet. Boy, it ain't sharp too. Oh, markers off. They might be off the double screen. We'll run some 250s, 200s along this thing going down to the creek arm. See if there's any fish along it. There might be some, you never know. We don't know about the hang situation, but I'm sure we'll find out.
Okay, you're setting your lures out so you have them all.
Yeah, I just want to get some stuff out so I can see what I'm doing here before we start
Okay.
moving along. And we got a pretty long ways. I don't want to spend too much time, but I do want to troll this in case there's some stripers laying along this. So I think what we'll do, Harold, do you want to hand me my trolling rod over there? And then get yours. Might have to shift some side. And Harold with a 200 on the outside. And I'm going to go on the top of this thing and then down off of it. On the top and down off of it. I may even start out with a 200 on the inside and a 100 on the outside because it breaks so steep. The man on the outside would be completely out of position if I was to run two 200s, okay?
Okay.
I know that makes a lot of sense, you know. I need a 250, I'll take a 250, okay?
So Harold, you have a 100 and he's
I got a 100 in a dark color.
Okay.
That's just to check the watercolor.
Harold's going to have to run about 30 yards on the outside to even stay in position. I'm going to run, well, I'll run approximately, I'll adjust. I'll start out with 30 and see if it's
okay.
See it?
Yeah. A cut right here?
Right here. And those are the kind of places along this channel where you're going to find them.
So you're going to pay a special attention when you get to those?
Yeah, I'm going to see what's here. Take a little bit of a look at it. I shook that thing off, whatever it is. Nine to 10 feet with this 12-pound line.
You have 12-pound on the inside?
Yeah, I got 12-pound line on the rod I brought.
I got
Which isn't a good idea. We should both be running the same amount test, but you know, we do what we can. We're coming to another little finger right now. Harold, you might get on this one. And they're sharp, boy, they break sharp along there. That's pretty hard, that one. That's pretty hard.
You're slowing down because you feel the bump?
I'm slowing down because it's starting to bump a little bit, and I want to be able to tell if it's hard.
Okay. What did you say about stripers?
Well, there could be some stripers hanging along this break line here along the channel, so we want to make sure if there's any around, we hit them, you know.
Uh-huh.
As soon as we get to, now this is trolling water. When in the Buck's literature, he's got trolling water and fishing water. This is trolling water, this break line all along the channel, along this island. There's nothing definite here, it's just a break line with a series of fingers sticking out. We haven't seen any fishing water yet.
Okay. Color now?
We got a dark overcast day, so we're using a neutral and a yellow. A neutral and a dark. We got a copper on the outside, and we got a neutral, a yellow on the inside.
Okay.
We don't want to run a silver or white. It's pretty dark conditions. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty cloudy. Can it change watercolor? Looks real dark now, and a couple days ago it was
runoff. Either
Oh.
one. If it rains and gets some runoff,
okay.
it can change considerably, huh?
Or where the creek it's coming out of.
Yeah, now I think we're coming to the creek up here. Sure looks like it.
So you're seeing a lot of little fingers and things as you're going.
Short fingers and very steep.
But you don't consider that major structure?
No, this isn't a major structure situation here. But there could be some fish along here, so instead of just racing around, we'll make sure that we check this out on our way. We check the other side out on the way back.
Okay. Terry, you mentioned about the fluctuating water levels. Now, you figure that does affect the fish?
Well, Mr. Perry told me that when they drop these water levels to any excess, it definitely does affect the fish. Definitely does. Maybe to the campground we can get something from Mr. Perry on that, and he can explain it better than I can. But I know it makes the fishing tough when they keep dropping. But this doesn't look that low to me.
Okay.
Now, here's a cut coming in here of some kind. We may see a difference in depth here. We may see this little finger drop down into the deeper water, into the cut. I'm bumping it right now. I just hit it a few times. Well, that's so steep. What's happening here? This side of it. I'll try and skim the edge of this if I can. I don't think I will. We'll come up on this side of it. It's 30 feet deep right here, and it's about 10, 12 feet over here.
So there's a pretty good sized finger?
Drops down in the cut, comes back up again over there.
So you're gonna cross it.
Come across it and come up on that side,
Come on
because
that
over here we got that fish basket.
Okay.
Go ahead, Harold. There's the cut. There's a cut, and I'm hung up in that basket.
Downstream, now this is a ridge of growth here,
Right.
and then on the inside of it is a flat area with water.
This is the old shoreline of the creek right here.
Okay.
Okay? And what's behind it is just flooded land.
So we're in the main channel, but
We're
downstream,
right along the main channel.
down at Chester Frost Park, this would be the 16-foot delta that they're fishing,
The 18.
or 18 foot.
They very seldom catch them that shallow. We got some pretty good watercolor here. And I believe we're coming to Mud Creek. I believe this is Mud Creek here. I don't
Okay.
think that was it back there.
2 breaks.
Now there's 2 brake lines along here in
Okay.
places. Other places it goes from 9 or 10, boom. Right
Oh. One's at about
come across the cuts, it goes right down at 9 or 10.
9 or 10, and then you say about 17
About 17 is the other.
in some places.
Second one at 17.
So you notice that we're coming up to Gillespie Slough, the next one up, and it's a little farther out from the shore.
Move out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we're cutting back in again. A lot of 15-foot flathead here, you know. There's a little break in here that we're following, and we just
So-
gotta wander around.
Would that be more of an advantage in fishing?
Oh, yeah, it's a big structure.
Okay, the size.
Structure.
Okay, we're at Gillespie Creek.
Yeah, we're down here at Gillespie Creek
Okay.
right now. That, I assume, is over here. Over across here, it looks like there'd be a big structure situation over there.
Over across the water here,
Across
yeah.
the water.
Okay.
Got a channel marker and everything on that side, and I think that's where we got to go.
Okay, going across the river.
The channel marker, okay?
Mhm.
Channel marker, and that's that marker right over there. The channel really makes a cut along that. We're gonna have to go over there and check that structure out.
Okay. Now some more colors there, Terry.
Yeah, I'm taking out a few more. Taking out some 400s.
Some fluorescence too, because the light's changing a little.
Fluorescence is neutral. Fluorescent yellow. Doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I keep on the dark color.
Look, you find those channel markers, or those buoys are marked right on the channel.
The main channel.
Theory?
Series of fingers right here. I just want to get my bearings here and see where we are.
Map it first and then fish it.
I'm taking a look at it first.
So you always look it over
Always.
before you...
I wouldn't know where I'm running here, you know.
What are you looking for?
Right there.
It came up real shallow.
I'm going to turn it back in and see if it comes up again. Here it comes again.
Is this a finger on the
This is that long ridge that's running.
ridge? Yeah.
Pretty shallow.
What brake line are you following it at?
Breaking about 7 feet. From here it's breaking a little bit deeper.
7 feet. Okay.
So it's breaking about 11. See it go about 11?
Yeah.
We're way out here. Yeah.
Way out here.
So you're waiting for to show you where the end of it is?
I want to see where the end of it is. So, if we hit it fast, we're going to have to throw it. We're out here in the middle of nowhere. See that thing breaking? I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll run two 250s. We'll check that shallow pressure first. If we hit a fish, we'll throw the mark. Okay?
Okay.
Harold, put this guy on.
I like pro wrestling.
I know you do.
That's my favorite color.
I like coffee. We're 25 feet now, so those breaks are shallow and they're sharp. We got some pretty good watercolor here, so, you know, normally downstream there, I'd ignore that thing, you know what I mean? We got some pretty darn good breaks here, so.
You've come to the end of that along...
Yeah, I came to the end of it, but I'm looking for the cut that's along here. If I can see it, I'm going to mark it. Find that cut, we're going to find those fish.
Okay, the cut through the...
What cuts through this thing.
Okay. So if you see a cut through this as you're following this, what depth brake line, about 7-8 feet?
Yeah, I'm going to get in there. There's a 7-8 foot brake line. I'm working my way back in now. We pretty much picked it up coming out here.
And if you see a cut, that's where you're going to throw the marker, and that's where you'll...
down to 30 or something like that. We'll throw it.
Okay.
Oh, we got to check that shallow.
Okay. You're going to check both of them then?
Yeah, we're going to check them both.
Stay on the channel side of that.
Yeah, we want to be on the channel side of it over there.
You make sure you see it breaking a little
'Cause we
faster?
can get on the big flat on the inside there as we drop to 15 feet, especially with these smaller lures.
Yeah.
Pump that on there. We've come across so far.
The best one we've come on so far. Now, why is that?
Well, it's a long bar, real long ridge, and the river channel runs right up against it. And breaks to about 35 feet, pretty good. We run all sizes of lures in here, really.
So you're looking for the steeper break where it comes right up to it?
Where the river channel comes up to the structure.
Yeah, or the river, oh, I see, okay.
The river channel, right. See that?
Yeah, we're right next to it here.
Mm-hmm.
And we got, what, 30, 40 feet in the river channel?
We got 35 feet out there, not too far away. We're going to go down to this opening down here, this cut, and we're going to turn around and come back.
Okay. So you say it's flattening out up here.
Yeah, it's getting a little flatter up there. Up best structure situation, I think, is from that buoy. The brakes are much sharper from that buoy on down, okay?
Okay. You're going back at what depth? The same depth?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna make another pass with these before we go into deep.
Okay.
I said run about
30.
okay.
With these sharper brakes, I can always do a better job on the inside, you know.
I mean, when your lure is positioned on the inside,
Yeah.
because you have more control of the boat.
Because I got my lure inside, I'm not worried about the depth finder as much as I am my lure beginning to hit the bottom.
I see. Okay. Big structure, so we're having to really cover
Yeah,
a lot
we
of
gotta really
territory.
work this thing.
We just dropped a marker at that one cut, and then you're gonna move along and see if there's anything
I'm gonna
else.
move along, you know, right to where we were going before.
Okay.
Running out until it runs free, and it's pretty mucky on us.
Yeah, that's why you're working the rods a lot, because there's a lot of moss down there.
Moss down there and trash. Maybe when we get out a little deeper, it might clean up. You never know.
So you're gonna put on a 200 and go back?
Yeah, we're gonna put on a 200 and go back along it.
You found we're down here by the rocks, so you know that this is right up against the channel?
No, the channel's still out here. That steep shore has got nothing to do with the channel.
Oh, okay. We've
Might
seen.
have a little side cut going in there. We can run over there just real quick and see what it looks like.
But that's not right next to the river channel at this point.
River channel's out there.
Okay.
It's coming up shallower as I go toward the shore. So it's kind of deceiving there, all them rocks.
Yeah.
Kind of deceiving. Oh, I gotta get you.
That's a pretty one.
Almost brand new.
Fluorescent. That's a neutral color then.
Yes.
It's a neutral color.
Boy, that-
I'm gonna run the dark still.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna run the copper. I love the copper.
We're going back upstream on that same structure.
Go back upstream and pick it up again. Harold, you can run about 25. I'll run 30 out here.
We're coming up on that marker now. What kind of depth do we have?
Yeah, we just came up into 10 feet. Breaking away again. Well, I think we're going down in the cut right here.
This is the
This is the cut.
The
right
cut.
here. Now we're coming up the other side of it. Pretty
how,
soon.
how far did it go down?
20 feet.
20 feet. Okay.
Now we got to cut it. Yeah, we're in the cut right now. We're in the cut right here.
Okay.
Not too wide. This is it.
We really haven't found any real clean bottom
No,
yet.
we haven't found anything but the muck and the moss. That could be just the way it is here.
Uh-huh.
We just have to run over the tops of it, you know.
But if you notice, is it a little harder in the cuts sometimes?
No,
Not necessarily.
Harold's come up on it several times. It's been soft.
Still soft all the way up.
But that's all that's there then, huh?
Yeah, that's
So-
all the fish have that use this spot. We know they'll use it.
Okay, you're gonna work it now with a 100?
Yeah, we're going to go down to 12 to 15 feet.
Okay.
We'll see how it is downstairs.
Now how deep would you go on a structure like this?
Well, you could go to the base of it if you hit a fish, you know. We don't hit anything at all. Pretty difficult. So far, we haven't hit a fish today, no matter where we go.
Yeah. You say you found a little bit harder bottom?
Yeah, a little bit harder, right up, but it's right on the end.
On the end of it. Okay.
Right on the end.
Yeah, here's our marker, so we're right at it, aren't we? Where that harder bottom is. Got a fish on. Any size? Just threw a marker to mark the spot.
Just have it with me.
Good.
No bass.
What's down
What does that tell you?
there? Nothing much.
Nothing much, okay.
It tells me there's a white bass down there. It tells me he wants to stick me with them stingers, but he isn't going to get me. Little guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we do?
Well, we're going to make a pass back with these 100s.
Okay. Got a fish on, Terry? Is the net in the way there? Gonna want a net for him?
Yeah, you're going to need a new. I don't think it's a big white bass. Too big. Could be a catfish. How we doing on the shoreline?
We're all right.
Bass.
Bass.
Pretty good size one too.
A big one.
Thank goodness.
He's over
All
4.
right. He's over 4?
Way over 4.
Did anybody throw a marker?
Yes.
Yes.
Harold. You taught me well.
Let's see that fish.
Can I hold him up for you?
Yeah,
Take a
let's see
picture of
that
that one.
fish.
He didn't even jump.
Mm-mm. That's what I lost before.
Set him down a minute, Harold, this way. You can get nice fish.
Okay, hey, that's a beauty.
He's over 4.
Relax now, relax. You got your Polaroid with you too?
I got Polaroid too.
Hey, you want to take a couple Polaroid? One
Okay.
for me and
Sure.
one for Buck?
All right. Yeah, he's a beauty.
Nice fish.
Look at the size of that.
Nice bass.
Great. Want to turn him sideways so we can see him here.
410.
410. Nice fish. Well,
Hey, watch out for my little camera.
I
there.
got it. Marker down somewhere
We
back.
threw a
Kept
marker.
running. Now, the reason I kept running forward, this thing's all loose in the chuck. I'm going to make that guy give me a new rod, Scott. The reason I kept going is because Harold said he caught a green fish,
Uh-huh.
and we hadn't been down this way yet, okay?
Well, the other one that I came to the top out there was
My
A
buddy
small-
Harold tells me something, I listen.
You
That's
listen.
right. So we're going back and see if we can locate a casting?
Harold threw that marker, you know,
Yeah.
which is a Spoonplugger's delight, you know? Look how far we came.
We drifted quite a ways.
Yeah, we're going
It's
to
a yellow marker. It's the yellow one.
That's okay, we'll see it.
Now you're trolling back up past that marker to
Yeah,
look
we're
it
gonna
over?
Go back there, and maybe our speed just happens to be right, because every fish we hook is coming downstream, guys.
Right.
So that means it may be a little faster speed.
Yeah, it may be. It may be. We're going to find out, because our marker's dead ahead of us. Harold's got his line. I think that's it right there in the water.
That's the marker for the fish. And I know it isn't floating because I took it to loose myself.
He was back about 25 yards, okay?
Yeah.
He was on this thing right here. Coming up on it. Now we're going upstream, so we may not get one going upstream. It depends. But Harold had caught one coming off of that thing, and that, you know, so I kept on going.
Yeah. That's the marker.
We should be right around here is where they should be. I can't see any distinguishing feature, you know what I
Okay.
mean? That's it, Harold. Make sure you got enough line out now. We don't care if we hit the marker, what we do. here and I'm going to throw a marker. Okay?
Is this where Harold, he just caught a small?
Well, the boat was around here. Right?
Okay, just caught a small
Somewhere
bass.
between here and there is where those fish are.
Between those two markers, that one's quite a ways down there.
Between those markers is where those fish are.
Okay.
Let's pick this marker up when we got a chance. And as we went deeper and deeper and deeper, we got that big bass. Now we're going to go back.
Now,
We're going to work that group and see if we can find.
you said those fish will be there for a while because they're so deep?
Yeah, they're nice and deep. I'm running 15, 17 feet, and I'm hitting those things at 13 feet.
So that
And
this
Harold's
is,
hitting them probably around 14 feet. Because they're long enough, they're bridge type enough that you can get on them too.
Right.
so we picked up, we picked up those markers because that we had marked before because we caught the fish down here, so we're going to just concentrate. You don't have to worry about that.
Now they're between those two markers someplace.
Okay, we'll go get them. Now we're running the 100s back across between these two markers.
Back up on it again.
Okay. You mentioned that we really didn't catch these fish right away on this structure.
Well, we didn't. Now, it's possible they weren't moving, but the probability is we didn't come down this far, did we?
No.
Okay?
So we hit a fish and then we concentrate on this. But this is a big structure. We had to fish a lot of it to find the spot.
That's right. Look how big of a structure, Chase. If you go back with the camera, the video camera, they can see the island way in the background.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it's
This
way
is
up
the
there.
same ridge coming all along here, huh?
So you got to fish it all.
You gotta fish it all. And we ran 250s, we ran 200s. We got down to the 100s. We didn't want to leave without doing that.
And it's we've spent a couple hours on this already.
Yes, we have.
Okay, takes patience and time.
Time and patience. He shook off.
He shook off.
Yeah.
Okay, he just hooked another
Little bitty guy.
small one. Same spot though, between those two markers.
Well, no, he was a little further this way.
A little further this way.
So we're going to start this way and go back that way.
Okay.
See what's going on here? This might be good all up and down here.
Yeah.
We haven't reached the break line where the contact point is, you know what I mean? Maybe that's why we're having a problem. We're having to get them located.
So you fish beyond those two markers, between the two markers,
Right,
just to
I'm
make
gonna
sure.
Go a little bit past it, especially that direction.
Okay. Just to check out the whole area.
Yeah.
You say we're going upstream now, so we aren't getting as much
Yeah,
depth.
we're not getting as much depth. I'm slowing it down a little bit.
Drop the lures. You're not sure.
I set the hook good on him. Unless he hit it and followed your lures.
I don't have a fish. I know a fish when I get one on y'all. I don't have a fish.
Might have followed your lure.
I don't have a fish.
No fish.
No
Well,
fish.
it
Thank
sure looked like it. Boy, would you consider casting on this? Or you haven't pinpointed them yet
I
completely?
haven't really seen a distinguishing feature, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's along this brake line. It's probably that little finger back there, but I'm not sure.
So if you stop and cast, you better know that there's a feature there that you're
Better know
casting
that
to.
there's a feature there that you're casting.
Okay. You said you
We caught
haven't.
the one, you know, the small fish that I had on. We caught one going up.
Yeah, okay.
You
But
said you
the
haven't
other
caught
five has been coming this
coming
way.
downstream.
Downstream with the current.
But if you increased your boat speed,
Bad.
if you increased your boat speed, you would your lure wouldn't get the depth,
There
right?
wouldn't be anything happening at all. The current is just too strong.
Too much current. Okay.
Wouldn't do us any good at all.
So to get your depth going upstream, you might want to slow down to keep the depth, but then your speed control may be off.
Right. We're going to run a couple of
700s.
700s now?
Oh yeah.
here, Harold, you run this guy here.
Okay.
This is Rocky's favorite color.
With the green.
And I'll be on the, where will I be? I'll be on the inside, outside.
Outside.
You'll be on the inside.
So the first pass you're going to make is going to be with a short line, with a 700.
Yeah, we're going back up
Going
against
back.
the current. We're making the same pass we'd make with a 100.
Okay. And then you might even take it deeper with a longer line
We can.
if we need to. Then the lures, you're going to go back and take another look at it,
Yeah, I'm going to take a look at that.
possibly anchor. Okay.
Chase, you can take this thing up in the boat. Right about where my line was at. It's this feature right here.
That's the feature where you think the fish came off from,
That's where I think the fish is.
which is down from the, there's the first marker when we caught the fish.
That looks right at 15 feet down.
That should go. Looks like it's, yeah, that should go.
Okay, now, our problem is going to be, reaching over the end of it, okay? You watch our marker now. Red marker. And I'll tell you where the brake line is. I've got to keep an eye on it too with Chase. 30 feet now. She's coming up now. Let's see, a little over this way. That's why this thing is good. Right now, we can reach it. Okay?
Yeah, you can reach
We
it.
can reach it all the way around.
Get it.
I'm going to get up the hill a little bit and let the boat come this way. You know what I mean?
You're going
I
to
don't want to think of that thing.
to anchor the boat, you're going upstream.
Yeah, I'm going to get up the hill a little bit.
Okay.
We'll spend just a little bit of time here. Just 7 feet of water, because I'm sure our lures are going to drift on the cast.
So we want to be close to where we,
Yeah, I'm going to maneuver around here
we're using that marker as
as a
a
reference point.
reference, so when you anchor the boat, you want to be right there.
I'm using it as a reference point. I got to get the anchor down fast. Hoping that we're going to go that way. No, would you pull that rod of mine out?
How deep are you going to be having the boat in when you anchor?
We're too deep. We're too deep. Harold, you want to pull this thing up?
Okay, came up a little bit shallower.
You can tie it any way you want.
Okay.
It's a length there, and you can tie it to the under the
What I
motor.
usually do,
You tie it under the motor. Where you tie, where you comfortable. Whatever you comfortable.
do is to have an anchor that will hold you. If it doesn't hold you, it's no good. You can't find a new spot where the fish are.
Mm-hmm. So you got to make sure you got enough weight and enough holding power.
You gotta have weight.
That
Weight
one's
is
22
what
pounds.
holds. Weight is what holds.
That one's just 22 pounds,
Oh.
I tell you.
Okay, that ought to do it.
I'm gonna swing us around. Now, Chase, what I want you to do, Chase, remember I dropped that marker, okay?
Yep.
I want you to take a look in the water where that marker is at.
Okay. Oh yeah, right. Then a few feet of the boat here.
That's where that marker is, Chase.
Yeah.
That's where it's supposed to be. And toward our marker.
Right.
You know what I mean?
In,
Okay?
in about 8.5 or 9 feet,
Yeah, we're in about 9 feet right here.
and you're upstream from your marker.
Yeah, so that we can make our cast out here
Out.
and see what's going to happen, and we
And-
can make our cast downstream.
and then downstream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out there, should I dig one out of here? Sure.
Yeah, here's a bunch of buddies.
Okay. Let Chase
So,
flip that buddy around.
One guy's going to use 100 and another guy's
Yeah.
using a silver buddy.
And
Okay.
we're going to see just how many hangs we got or what's going on. You
Okay.
know? Okay, let's see if we can't locate them, because we know this is where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is where the big fish was. See, I was running 25 to 30 yards of line, and take a look at the yellow marker. Harold threw it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't mean the fish are in here. My lure was back here, and this is the only feature that I can see.
Yeah.
Okay, now it curves back in here, and then curves back out again. So we've got deep water here and deep water downstream to the side. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
So we don't know exactly what we hit.
Now, you said if we find a lot of brush, what do we do?
Broke off a piece of something there.
Oh.
If we find a little bit of brush and we can't work a jump type lure through there or anything, then we got to put a Carolina rig on and work that through there.
Okay.
Okay, we won't have the speed control, but at least we'll be able to work in and around the brush where the fish might be.
Okay. Sounds
Okay, I
good.
might have come off a bush here and hit that big fish.
Yeah.
It was bumping, it hit something, and the next thing I knew he was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. So we're going to try and have to get him coming up the ridge.
And the last thing you'd do after you cast it would be to take 100, which you caught the fish on originally.
Yeah, we'd run it again.
And run it
In case
again.
we spooked him a little bit or something, we'll come back and run it again. It could be we could get a 5-pounder on the first cast, or maybe not get another fish, but if we don't try it, you know, you
Okay.
never know.
Yeah.
Getting a good one.
It's harder just by the way it's bouncing there, huh? Yeah, it looks like it's really bouncing firmly. So where you hooked that fish and we stop and cast, there was a couple hangs in that area.
Yeah, a couple. There's a hang right here, and this isn't the spot. This is the spot where Harold hooked
That's
the
where I
fish.
lost the fish, in the brush.
Uh-huh. And then the one where the
This
big
is the bush probably that the fish went underneath.
where the big fish was hooked also there was some hangs.
Yeah, there's some brush down there too.
So you felt a little roughness on your line, you're retying them.
Yeah, I'm gonna retie.
Got to remember to check that periodically, right?
Anytime you're fishing a reservoir, you do.
Mm-hmm. So we
The small bass too. Well, we're gonna troll back, pick up our markers, and we're gonna look for something else.
look at something else. Okay.
We might go all the way back to the dock. There was a little structure there that looked better than this stuff here with the baskets on it. You know what I mean? Okay. Give it the old college try.
So you say some spoon pluggers, Steve would stay.
Sit right on this spot now, and he'd work them hard. He might run over here for a while and then come back, but he'd work them hard because he knows that big fish, there's more big fish right there.
Out of deep water.
Okay, and we caught a few bass, 4 bass going back and forth here.
Uh-huh.
And we had a hold of another good one, Harold did. Okay, so Steve had worked this spot. There's nothing wrong with that if you got the patience, but we're here, we want to look around a little bit, you know. We
Okay.
want to see what's going on. So we're going to move down, down the river a little bit and look around and maybe look for Rocky and Mike.
Okay.
Position.
So you feel that marker is one of the most important tools you can have.
It's essential. It's essential, and it's also essential to use it when you're anchoring the boat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It helps me a tremendous amount. I might not be as smart as the next guy, so you know what I mean? I got to use all the aids I can get, you know.
And you learned without the depth sounder.
Without the depth finder. Without the depth finder in the big open lakes, it's an impossibility without markers. You got to know where the boat was, at least know where the boat was when you caught a fish, especially a fish like that.
Right. Okay, you're going to start with a 100, just trolling.
Yeah,
trolling.
just check the brake line here.
Is this another
We got
delta?
Rocky and Mike up ahead, too.
This is another delta situation?
This is a delta here. This is just a big structure.
Just a big structure.
Just like we were fishing before.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a delta, yeah, you can call it that. This thing swings way out. Look at all the flat land in here. Look at this. We came all the way around that point, and all we would have been trolling is trolling water. Now we're fishing structure. We only have one day, so we want to stay on the structure.
Okay.
That's Mike and Rocky up there.
And these are pretty good sized structures too, aren't they?
These are pretty big, yeah. Look where Mike and Rocky are. I'm pretty sure that's Mike and Rocky.
Yeah.
We probably have to run 40 to get
never worked that cut where we come out. Did you guys do it at all?
Just a little bit. We went down there. We got a nice bass. We caught 4 bass, and Harold had a pretty good fish on, but we didn't get him. We got under a bush. I got one 410. We got him in a live well. And got a couple of white bass too.
One white bass, and we caught some more smaller ones.
Small bass and
But those
That's all we got is a bunch of small ones. Nothing with any size at all.
small bass.
6, yeah.
yeah, we caught a couple of TV bass.
Yeah, we got one 410, and Harold had a pretty good one on. Pretty good watercolor over there. Did you guys work this a lot here?
No, we just trolled down, looking for anything that was coming up, and we popped one here, one there, but
If you go around the corner here, the watercolor gets better. And if you keep going, there's a big bay on your right, and a cliffs on the right-hand side. There's a big bar. It's got an underwater peninsula like this sticking way out. And that's where we got the big bass. If you want to go over and fish it, we just came from there.
you trolling or casting?
Trolling, I hit him on a troll,
100.
on a 100.
Well, let's go back that way, because the watercolor don't get no better down there, and
Oh.
the moss gets worse.
Yeah, I figured that.
You say this looks like what we were fishing upstream there?
Looks like the same thing. You can see it. You know what I mean? There's a break all along the channel. Got some pressure. We're going to go all the way out to the end of it and see what it does.
That channel marker is telling us that the river channel's real close.
Channel's over here, yes.
Okay, what were you saying about the big fish?
The reservoirs have a lot of structure. This one does, so does Lake Hickory. The big fish are only on certain structure situations, usually the best ones. The longest ones are the ones closest to the channel. So when you catch a big bass, that's a structure that you got to concentrate on.
Okay, good. Now, because you caught a fish on that type of structure, you're going to look for more structures so
Same
similar?
type of thing. Long stuff that's along the river channel.
Okay.
We're fishing right now.
Great. You said there was a spot you just went by that was started swinging out and then went bingo?
See, look at the shore over there.
Shore over, yeah, right into the channel.
Start swinging out. On good breaks on the inside. The fisherman's got to know that this is the river channel, and it's going to swing out where you see that big flat, and that's where these fish are going to be.
From the steep area up into the flat.
As it swings across the lake, it's going to form that big bar that you see back there.
Ah. So that's where the contact area will be, in that area generally.
No, I'm all right. It came off.
Yeah, we're close to it now.
It's real steep. Right in the channel.
So now you're going back out towards that structure where it comes
Go
out.
back along this break line right here. There comes the Queen Mary, too. Right at us.
So you hit and lost a small fish, but you're trolling this. You're going to go back and
Yeah.
work that area a little more?
Probably reminiscent of the other spot, huh?
Yeah. You just hit a small fish first and then worked it more and got that big one.
Those two fingers, I think, down there where the channel cuts out, I think that's going to be the key spot. It's going to be one of those two spots.
Right near where it meets the channel, where the bar, the shallow area comes closer to that sharp, steep
Right.
break?
It's gonna be
Okay.
right along there somewhere. One of those two fingers.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I came in and picked it up.
Just trolling, you noticed a couple fingers that stick out. That's in that area you were
Yeah,
talking
they're
about.
coming right down here toward the steep shore.
The steep shore.
There's another one.
Oh yeah.
Way out. You got another marker?
Yeah.
Threw 2 markers already, gonna throw another one.
Better get on this one.
I That bottom looks a little harder too.
It is, I'm up on top of it.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Here we are getting closer to the real steep shore.
Get some luck when we get up there too far.
Yeah.
Big lure.
What are you going to do next?
Roll it again now with the markers out.
With the markers out. Same depth?
Oh yeah.
You said the break line's about
It's about 13 feet.
13, okay.
This is what's in the shallows. Moss.
Hey, I got it in the motor.
You did.
So you're going to hit all three of those fingers?
All three of them, Chase.
Okay. Here's the markers. Here's the first marker. Okay.
Be on it.
I threw that markers up in about 7 feet of water.
I'm on it.
About 7 feet.
7 to 8 feet of water. Harold's on it, and I'm running 20 feet deep out here. He's got 17-pound line.
So you're contouring a little bit to try to hit the tips of it.
Just hitting the tips up, that's all I'm doing. I threw the markers on the tips up.
Okay.
Good fish. Got
Fish on.
it's a little fish.
That's okay.
Little fish. Okay.
Little bitty fish. Chase, you notice I don't want to get my hands scratched all up.
Yeah. What you got there? A bass grabber?
Bass grab.
How do you grab that thing?
It's like a pair of fries.
Oh
I
yeah.
gave Harold the lure, now I can't even get a fish.
Turn around this way. Let's see how you're grabbing it. Oh yeah. Okay, that holds it nice. Okay. Good.
Go back.
Throw 'em back.
Okay, I'm ready.
Going back with the same lures?
I got a 200 on the inside. I want to get a little closer to the structure.
A little farther up on it. You were saying about being patient?
Yep. You got to be patient. You can't leave right away. You got to go a little further than you did the last time. Just like we did when we caught that bigger fish.
A little further down the structure to cover it.
Further down the structure. That's right.
Okay. Noticed it's a little cleaner down deeper
Yeah, it's cleaner down deeper. It's dirty on the top.
on top of it. So you tell that from the feel of the lure.
Oh yeah, and I can end up fouling too. I get out here around 11, 12 feet and I'm fine.
Mm-hmm. Coming by those fingers again?
Yeah.
Just tip. Just
The
tip.
minute I get up there, I get a little fish out.
Little fish out.
Let's see what it is. Well, we're catching them. You So you know the bigger fish are deeper and they're not moving. The little fish, they're always up front.
So that tells you about this structure that it's productive.
Productive, yeah. It's the same kind of structure, remember, as what we had before. Right.
You slow down the motor a little bit, Terry?
Oh yeah, let the lure just bump the bottom.
Then you're walking it down further.
He's walking it all the way down to about 20 feet here, 19 feet.
Okay.
I got a little fish up there. It came off, I got a little fish. Came off. Yeah. Very good.
So that's what you'll do when you walk it down a structure.
Come
You'll
off the end of it, walk it right down the slope.
just slow down a little bit so it keeps
Letting
walking.
it sink.
Okay.
I never touched out here. I got 12-pound line.
Hmm.
I had to walk all the way.
Got a fish on.
Small fish. Small fish, no. Throw back.
Small bass.
Okay.
Throw back.
Well, that's the way.
Well, we're
It's a
getting to
fish.
the bass country here.
Yeah. Now we're at the other end of the structure now. The place where we start is way down there.
We're more down this way, so I think what we'll do is go back and get our markers.
Yeah.
Pass back. Pick up our markers.
And work down this end more
Work down this side more, yeah.
because we've caught more down on this. That's about a mile or a mile and a half.
It's a pretty big bar, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's about like the other one, except this one's even bigger.
Yeah. You were saying the first few passes we didn't catch any fish on this.
Right. I didn't hit it right. Now I know the shape of it.
So now, so you're hitting it right.
Now we're hitting the fish as we go along here.
Getting
They're
fish.
scattered along the break line, they're small.
Okay.
So I'm hitting it just right now, see?
So you're
Gotta
paying
find out, you know, you can't just make one pass and leave it.
you're paying attention, keeping your eyes open.
Oh yeah, I know just how it runs now. All the fingers, it's real easy to run. You know?
Are you taking line sightings from the shore?
No, I don't really need any. The structure's so big. There's so many fingers on it that you're just going along, and I know if I hold about 15, 16 feet, I'm going to come along and put across the fingers, just like right now.
So you have to know the depth level you're working at as well as the
That's right.
finger.
That's right.
Okay.
Right, and evidently it turns that way, because we got good breaks down there too. You know, it doesn't go clear across the lake, you know. So,
That's why it's a good
yeah,
structure.
Oh yeah, it's a good structure. Boy, it is a big, some big bars. You notice how big the bars are here compared to lower in the lake? Down lower you got the Delta Ridge, but you don't have any real big bars. These are big bars toward the headwaters. You understand?
Yeah.
At 250 on it, we're going to run the edge of that grass bed all the way back where we were and past it. You know what I mean? We're going to run around 8-9 feet. See, because this you can see, this matted stuff. Now those guys cast that with whirly birds and, you know, God only knows what, you know. Right now, you'll see if there's any stinkers on the weed line. And there might be a big fish or two on the weed line too, Chase.
Yeah. Now you say this size structure, you could have several schools.
We could have several schools of fish. Look how long it is.
And they have spawning up in those grass areas?
Oh, sure. There's clean spots in there on the edges of that grass.
So it does have all the features necessary.
I got a 400.
We got a 250 ride.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're running the weed line at what, 7-8 feet?
No, about 8 feet we're going to run. 8-9 feet on the outside.
Okay, it's pretty tight, so you're going to keep out just
Pretty tight. Harold's going to run about 25 inside. I'm going to run about 30 on the outside.
Okay.
A little short of 30, maybe 28 yards. We don't want to bump this stuff too much because you saw what happened when I got the 200 up on top there.
Yeah.
Oh, bucky it. So we're giving some speed. Oh, this is steep along here. This is like a mountain. 35 feet right here. Look at the wall.
And you both have a 6 to 9 on?
Both of us got a 250.
250. Okay.
Okay, Harold, here you go. Read them and wait.
you look for
In the headwaters.
in the headwaters?
Yeah, that's what I look for in the headwaters, is the biggest structures that I can find, because the delta disappears. It's narrower, it's steeper, and the big bars are sticking out. That's all that's sticking out. The delta's gone.
So
you could
that,
call this a delta if you want to, but this it's a shoreline.
yeah, sure. Okay. Another fish on. Same structure. What, we're trolling 12 to 15?
Yes.
Hey, yeah.
Look at this.
Let's see here.
Look at this.
Oh, that's what they call a grass bass, huh?
Look at this. He ain't much bigger than the 100.
Yeah,
What a good fish, huh?
lots of...
Look at that beautiful little fish, will you? Look at
That's
that.
the only Kentucky we caught today.
Yeah,
That's a Kentucky?
little Kentucky, yeah.
Oh, now how can you tell the difference?
See the side, the lateral line on
That
the
lateral
side?
line, see how black it is?
Because I guess I haven't caught any of those. Let's see, hold them up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, real
Kentucky.
distinct.
That's real
Okay.
Kentucky.
Okay.
What a beautiful little fish.
Huh.
Now we're going to take this big bass over and we're going to release him on this structure situation over here. I'll show you how I release them. Okay, I don't know if I know it's the right way to do it, but other people might differ.
Okay.
One and the point come together. Okay.
Okay, now.
Big fish.
Nice
I'm
fish.
reading 30 feet of water, 25 feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in here. You notice I'm not bending his jaw. I'm holding his jaw
Hold
up
it
so
straight.
it doesn't get broken.
Okay.
Even though it's harder on my fingers, especially if he's bigger. I'm coming up toward them fingers. Remember those fingers where the channel swings out here?
Yeah.
Coming up on there. Here comes a finger. And I'm on top of it right now. I'm going to let him go right there.
Okay, he was in good shape too. Oh, all right. He says thanks.
There he goes. Now he's got right along the brake line. Okay?
So,
He's got the channel there and he's got the shell is up here.
so you
Right
put him
along
on
the
a
brake
good
line.
structure so he's going to survive much
That's
better.
right.
You release him
If I was to take him up in that slop up there, God only knows what had happened to him up there.
because he wouldn't be familiar with it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Down this thing. How's that sound, man?
Can you use some wire line on this same structure?
Yeah, we're going to put a 200 on and we're going to wander around out there.
So Terry, we're using wire in a 200?
Yeah, we're going to go down the base brake line now, about 21 feet, something like that, okay?
Okay.
I'm kind of outside of it here, but I want us to get the line out.
Right.
We're in 30 feet of water here. We've got a pretty productive area down there, so we surely want to go past there.
Right, deep.
So you're running 16 layers and...
I'm running 16 layers.
I'm
about
running
30
14
yards.
on the inside.
Okay.
Well, we're both around 30 yards of line, approximately.
Okay.
Notice I ain't going to go real slow either. I might slow down a little bit more.
Why not?
Because these fish are on the move, this water's warm.
Oh, okay.
It's probably going to be clean down there. We're either going to hit a pile of muck or it's going to be clean.
Okay, now you're taking the wire and you're going down a little deeper?
Yep.
Going back to structure. What depth are you trying to hit now?
We're going to hit about 19, 20 feet. We're going downstream, so we shouldn't have much.
Should have a little better depth.
Better run 20 layers out of this.
You said you noticed a change in the weather?
Yeah, we got a high pressure system we're in now. You can see it's clearing out of here.
Yeah.
It might be the fishing for today. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out. What we'll do is we can see if it's blowing out of here, all the haze we've had, so we'll hightail it for that dirty water down there. These fish will be getting littler and littler and deeper
And deeper, right.
So that's time to scoot.
Yeah.
do anything over there?
No, not up there. It's just a little one.
You got a little Kentucky.
That's a nice Kentucky.
It's a nice
Oh, is that a nice
Oh,
Kentucky?
yeah, that is a nice. That's the
that's
biggest
a- that's
Kentucky
a
I've
big-
seen.
That's a big Kentucky.
That's the
All
biggest.
right,
That's a
then
big
Mike will
Kentucky.
take a picture with it. All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Let me
that's
take a
big
Hold it up,
Kentucky.
Mike. Let's take a look at
Don't
that.
leave it to me. He can it. I
Hey.
was running the motor.
I
That's
turned
a
that
nice
fish
fish.
loose on a good piece of structure down
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna do with this.
Yeah, I
one.
guess it
there.
is.
Yeah, he's a nice Kentucky. That's a big Kentucky. That's a good one. That really is.
We caught that one and one more going up after we left. And we got up there to that mud creek. Nothing happening
How
up
about
there.
on the opposite side where we fished that big bar? It was just
Oh, we
like
didn't
this.
go over there. We just
that's
went
where
in
the
there. and we
You're
went
saving
up
that
the
for me,
creek.
huh?
That's where the big fish came from.
Oh.
You're saving that for me, huh?
All right, we went up the creek there, and they're not, you know, it's a lot of flats, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You know, there's nothing.
That
Yeah,
is
this
a
is
Like
nice.
you say, in the spring probably.
In the springtime. Here.
Yeah.
But they were
100.
small.
Yeah, but they're small.
You said that Kentucky is equivalent of your largemouth?
Oh,
All
yeah.
you gotta do is push the
Sure,
red
like
light.
a
size,
Kentucky's
yeah.
about 2.5 pounds, I'd say.
And they really don't get much bigger than that, huh?
Did you release that Kentucky?
You release him. Wait a minute.
No, I'm waiting for Mike to take a
us weigh
picture, actually.
Let's weigh him. He'll go almost 2.
Yeah, he's almost 2 pounds. That's a big Kentucky, Brock. Some places the state record is 3 pounds.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You don't catch them 4 and 5 pounds.
You catch
If you
1,
do,
4, and 5, you put him on the wall. 1.9.
1.9?
That's a good Kentucky.
That's a good Kentucky.
That's the equivalent of that big bass. You can put them right on this piece of structure here. We got 25 feet of water right
Here,
here.
just dump it right here.
Take them right to the break line, about 13
All right.
feet or so, and put them right in the water.
Yeah.
That big one, I put him right in the curve down there, but out on the first finger with a channel on this side and a point on that side.
Where you want to fish today, up there?
Hmm?
Where you want to fish today, up?
Clear it up, go back to where the water's dirty.
Not now.
Recognize the fact that that one looks awful like
This one, right.
And when you start running it to map it, you'll see the little finger sticking out, it's breaking and it's breaking, and then the tip off is the channel.
You say most guys are missing the bigger structures.
Yeah, they're missing the big structure.
And they just go for the little ones?
They're fishing all the short stuff.
And that's where you really don't find as big a fish.
Right. They could hit a big fish along there, but
In general.
how much trolling you gonna have to do? Even though we got a long run here, we're pretty confined as to where we're catching them. Along there's a couple of spots along there that we're getting them. You know,
Right.
we just about know where they are.
Now we're back on the structure we fished this morning, and that's the one we caught the big.
That's where we caught the big bass. We just came over that spot.
Okay. And there is better watercolor up here, isn't
Oh
there?
yeah, a lot better. That's why the big fish was probably here. The water color's pretty decent.
Okay. You're contour trolling. You're just hitting the tips of those.
I'm just turning back in until I hit the tips of those points. I'm at 20 feet of water more than I'm at 13 feet of water. So I'm hitting them right on the end. That's where we were catching the fish. How's your lure here? You get something on there?
It touches.
Coming up again.
You really don't adjust that motor direction much at all.
No? Because I know I'm coming across these little dips and cuts and I'm going to come right back up on it again. I'm just watching Harold's rod. Digger's a jerk. He got a little piece of trash.
You aren't really. You're just staying in a little deeper water, knowing that those fingers are coming up.
Oh yeah, you got to see 13, then 20, then 13, then 20, then 20, then 20, then 13.
Because you know what the depths are and what they're
Right.
breaking at.
Right.
Okay. Oh, you like to really set the hook there.
Yeah, especially casting because the line has a lot of stretch in it. So you rear back on that casting rod like you're going to try and break it.
You even pop them pretty good when you're trolling.
Even when you're trolling, I lean into them with the motor. What I do is I got this on my knee, and when they hit, I keep the motor running. I lean into them twice like that, and then I play them.
Ah. Okay.
You don't get the hook. Most guys, most fish don't get the hooks in them right. They don't hit it right, they're not really on the move, but you know, you came by at the right speed, you made them take it, you know.
So if you lost them on the hook set, you're going to probably lose them anyway.
You're going to lose them anyway.
Anyway, right. You would have lost them anyway.
Okay.
Just foul hook someplace.
Okay, Harold had a nice one on, about 2 pounds, Harold, 2.5?
Two and a half.
Lost him at
Lost them halfway to the
the
boat.
surface, yep. Okay, we'll go back. So this fish we just hooked is from a different school than the big one we caught earlier.
Yeah, this is a different school of fish up there. Harold had a hold of that bigger one earlier that got down in the bush on it.
Right around here.
Right around here.
And then down further, down this way here, we caught the big one from before. Okay. Okay, now we're going up to a 250. We're running 100. Going a little shallow. Is that right at the weed edge?
Well, outside of it, you know, I don't want to get in them, you know, so Harold and I will run two 250s. Harold, I threw that down.
Yeah.
So when you're contour trolling like this with a 250, you watch the inside rod.
I'll watch the inside rod.
When
Now,
that
if you wonder how far up on the bar we are, look at here.
There's the marker. Okay. When that runs free, then you turn the bow.
Got it.
Okay. 200 on, you're changing colors because it's towards the evening.
200 on, we're going to run that structure a little bit tighter. Harold, you might be able to run a 100 on the outside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With about 30 yards, you know?
Yeah. Big fish 100.
Yeah.
On the run.
You say it's cleaner down a little bit farther because the current cleans it out.
Yeah, it sticks out further into the river, so it keeps it a little bit cleaner.
So the shallower, flatter areas tend to build up more debris when
this
you
is
troll.
protected by this island here, and then all the garbage flows in the water from the island, sinks, and it doesn't get a chance to wash it.
You don't bump quite as heavy or hard when you go up into that shallow area. You kind of run a little more free.
Right.
Okay. Now you say if you're bringing a fish in to keep him, put him down, you put your rod under the water and you give him a little more pressure, you bring him in a little
just
faster?
keep a lot of pressure on him and keep him coming. Don't stop. The minute you stop reeling, he comes up.
Oh,
Even if you
okay.
got the rod in the water. Same with the casting rod. Just keep cranking him.
Then if he does come up, do you have to stop on him?
No, just keep reeling.
Even if he's on the surface?
Keep reeling. You get him back down again.
Okay. So that's true with a natural lake too, that you fish the biggest bars.
Yeah, you fish the biggest bars in the lake that drop on.
Yeah, I got a good one
He's
this
got a
time.
good fish.
Got a good fish?
He's got a pretty good one. He's got a fish anyway.
Okay.
18, 20.
So you say we're catching hooking quite a few Kentuckys here.
Kentucky's, yeah, and they're pretty small fish.
They're deeper than,
Yeah, they're notoriously deep fish.
sometimes they'll even move more at night? Or
They're especially nocturnal.
nocturnal, okay.
They got a small mouth, much smaller than a largemouth does, even though they look a lot like a largemouth.
Uh-huh. Harry, I want to thank you and Harold Eaton for taking us out and showing us.
Thank you for coming with us. Chase.
That was a nice demonstration.
We had a good time. We had a lot of fun.
Caught a number of fish and a real nice bass.
Good company, good conversation. You can't beat that.
Yep. Appreciate it a lot.